Welcome to Mind Balance Yoga. I'm Dr. Sarah Morrow. I'm a child psychologist and I teach therapeutic yoga. And this has been a difficult time for our society, for our world. And so all of my classes right now are relevant to the situation that all humans are contending with and moving through. So I'm live streaming here from my basement as I can't be teaching my live classes with my community. So I hope this practice can be of use as you are also at home and still in isolation. Today, our class is going to be all about grief and also about how yoga, when practiced strategically and therapeutically, is actually a way that we can reduce pain, emotional pain and physical pain. And this is somewhat of a follow-up from last week's class on death. So I hope some of you were here last week, and I always encourage my students as I go through my educational talk here in the beginning, I encourage everybody to, really come into their bodies, get onto your mat, start doing some gentle stretching, and just, allow yourself to kind of go inward into the body as you listen to some of these thoughts for the day. So right now, our species and our society is going through what we would call collective grief. This is the first pandemic in our lifetimes that we have gone through. And it's not only the fear and uncertainty of our health and our vulnerability to this and the vulnerability of our loved ones, but also a sense of the loss of normalcy. We've lost a sense of security on a global level. We've lost economic stability and also social connectedness. We also have this knowing in our hearts that right now, every day, in every moment, we're losing people to this illness, that people are dying in every moment. And overall, there is this mourning, almost the death of life as we once knew it. And I think there's this worry about how will we rebuild from here? What will things look like moving forward? Khalil Gibran wrote, "Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding." And perhaps the pain of the world right now is an opportunity for us to move further into a deeper understanding of life itself. In yoga, we talk about pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. The pain the world is suffering right now is felt, I really believe, by almost all people. We all have a sense of vulnerability and uncertainty in our lives. The word in Sanskrit that describes suffering has its root in meaning constriction of the heart. And I believe in yoga, one of the most healing things we do in this practice is to really open and soften through the heart center. Our self-protection lives in this crunched posture. And when we learn to breathe and relax and open, it tells our nervous system, in this moment, I am safe. So right now, we have this difficult time and grief is felt just energetically all around us. Grief is really about change that we didn't want, change that was not desirable and that we do not have control over. Grief, like pain, is also inevitable, but it is possible to experience grief without suffering. So this concept of dukkha, that inevitably life can be really challenging, one thing they mention in that philosophy is that part of our suffering comes from the fact that things are always changing. And the human nervous system doesn't like change. We're really desperate for familiarity and consistency and predictability. And so that grief is on some level your nervous system going into stress response, having a sense that your survival or those of your loved ones are at risk. And even if we are well, just knowing that others are dying or that tragedy is occurring around us triggers your own survival instincts. Imagine what things would be like if we didn't feel very uncomfortable about death. Our discomfort, our anxiety about dying is really an intention of your nervous system to make sure you do everything to survive and that your species survives. And so there's really no way to feel emotionally at ease as we know what's happening in the world around us right now. So while grief is truly painful, really grief is an act of love. If we don't have love, we really don't grieve. And I think about our experiences, how we can really suffer deeply when we lose one of our pets, one of our beloved pets that we've given and received continual love toward. Our grief can be deep and painful. But sometimes in a human relationship, if there wasn't a lot of love or warmth in that relationship, the grief is not as painful. So really the way that we can go through grief is to know that that is love in my heart for this being I've lost or for the pain in the world. And that's in some ways a really good thing, to be able to love deeply and care for others. So when we go through grief, it's really uncomfortable. It kind of messes up your body in a way. So we feel this loss of energy, fatigue, just really not feeling the drive and motivation that we need to get through our days. Our appetite tends to be disrupted. Our sleep is often disrupted. We might have more digestive issues. We might have unexpected outbursts of emotion, tearfulness, anxiety, or just irritability, just feeling like our fuse is short, everything is frustrating. Your brain doesn't work as well when you're going through grief, so you'll have difficulty concentrating and getting things accomplished. You might have headaches or body aches. And when we look at functional MRIs of the brain when people are experiencing grief, we actually look at the brain and it looks as though that person has physical injury, that they're in physical pain because the pain center of the brain is activated. We also have more systemic inflammation throughout grief, and so the body really hurts. We have heart symptoms in grief. So having chest pains or heart palpitations is very common when we're going through a grief experience. And we might also experience what we call apathy, like a numbness, a self-protective numbness, because sometimes it's just too hard to allow ourselves to really feel the pain of grief. So as a psychologist, of course, I have this interesting approach in these classes of bringing in all I know about Western psychology based in science, and then what we know through ancient Eastern yoga philosophy. And in psychology, we have a model of grief developed by Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Quite a long time ago, in the 1960s and 70s, she was doing this work. She was a psychiatrist. And I think this grief model is relevant right now because it's such an observable pattern going through our world, especially in our society right now. So the first stage of grief in her model is denial. And I believe that was apparent when this first became an issue, kind of thinking, oh, that's all the way in China, that's an Asian problem, we're gonna be fine. And then we experience anger. And certainly you saw so much anger and frustration. This is inconvenient. I don't want to have to change my lifestyle, my activities. I don't want to have to miss out on things I enjoy. So there was a lot of frustration. And then we go into bargaining. And then it's like, well, okay, I guess maybe for a couple weeks we should hunker down, but then everything will go back to normal, right? And then we experience sadness. So that's what I'm really seeing right now, especially for the teenagers that I work with, that sadness is arising as we go through this sustained isolation. And I think there's a sense of powerlessness or helplessness, knowing that people are dying and not really knowing what's going to happen or when this will end. And eventually, we truly hope to reach a point of acceptance. And that is where we become empowered to be able to really honestly say, this is happening. I have to figure out how to handle this. How best can I cope and be resilient as we go through this difficult chapter? We find a sense of control and acceptance, realizing where we have choice to say, well, I can't change this, but I can diligently wash my hands and practice social distancing. And maybe I should get creative and adapt my work or the ways I connect socially. I think a lot of us have been embracing video chat for the first time, or here we are doing a yoga class together through a live stream format. And we're realizing that we do have some choices to try to make the most of this. Maybe realizing we have a chance here to just slow down and maybe catch up on things that we've neglected in our lives because we're just so busy. So we go through these phases, and it's not necessarily continual, but it can vacillate and fluctuate over time, these different emotions all tied to the grief experience. More recently, we've added to these stages of grief meaning. This was developed by David Kessler in conjunction with Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. And in meaning is when we start to figure out how might this lead to a deeper wisdom or some kind of positive growth. In psychology, we refer to this as post-traumatic growth. And so next week's class is actually going to be all about meaning and about deep healing. And so I do hope you'll be able to join me for our class next week, which I think will complement our work we're doing today. So it comes down to asking, what can I do about all of this? What can I really day-to-day do to take care of myself? So when we're hurting, we really would like to numb the hurt. It's not a feeling we like to sit in, to go through grief and emotional pain. And as you know, in our culture, our society, we turn to alcohol. So there's so much on social media right now about drinking wine to get through, quarantine. And it's kind of normalized in our society to use alcohol to numb our emotional pain and our grief. We also turn to things like nicotine and cannabis, sugar and junk food, excessive use of TV, social media, video games, pornography, and possibly just constant busyness and restlessness, making sure we stay too busy to really feel. All of these means are intended to alter our biochemistry and to numb the emotional pain that we're going through. So when we have external influences that alter our biochemistry, we often begin to lose the capacity to stay present with our feelings. We become more uncomfortable in sobriety and being with all the range of emotions that we go through. And so the sensations of emotion, I think especially grief, are so uncomfortable that we really feel desperate to escape those sensations and just to reduce the intensity of them. And so now in kind of more modern research, when we think about addiction, we no longer ask why the drug, we ask why the pain. Because we're learning that if we can resolve this person's pain, the drug is no longer needed. And so I've actually come to realize that my teaching has evolved over these last several years. I started out teaching yoga as a psychologist because I wanted to educate and really teach people all about effective coping tools. And now what I've realized is I try to design my classes so that my students, in a sense, kind of get high or get this yoga buzz, which is truly coming from the biochemical shift that we can create for ourselves through a moving, mindfulness, breath regulating practice. And so everything that I bring in here, I hope just feels good in the body. There's all these cues to anchor the mind to the present moment, to really open the heart and relieve deep held tension in the body, and to allow ourselves to feel and to be present with whatever is going on for us in this moment. So I really hope that today will be a class that feels really good. We'll be doing a lot of heart-opening work today. Of course, suffering is constriction of the heart. And so we're going to really enjoy working out tension from deep through the heart center, neck and shoulders, and just really going inward. It'll be more of a gentle practice today because we want to practice with self-compassion and know that our energy might not be what it normally is, and to allow ourselves to gently engage in a physical practice without any strain or too much pressure on us for exercise. But we will still get some exercise, of course. So what else can we do besides mindful yoga and awareness practices? Well, we really have to kind of feel it in order to move through it. And so we have to actively grieve. We can't just wish this away. So we need to give words to our feelings and label our emotions and allow space to feel them. We should be talking to our friends about the hurt and the fear that we're going through, and perhaps journaling or more creatively writing poetry or doing art. And of course, meditating is always a wonderful way to become more aware of where we're really at and allow ourselves to feel more fully. Also, we really need to connect right now, which can be hard in this isolation. So the Buddha said, our fear is great, but greater yet is the truth of our essential connectedness. So humans are really meant to grieve in a communal manner. We are driven to come together during loss, during difficult times, and we have rituals where we're able to express ourselves and talk about our grief. And in moments of challenge, we come together because it strengthens us and comforts us and helps us be more resilient. So even though we need to continue to be in isolation, we have to really connect in whatever ways possible. So I'm really encouraging people to start a text thread with friends or your neighbors to check in with each other and share resources or share recipes, and possibly give it a go with Zoom video chat or these ways to connect where we can actually see each other's faces. And most of those platforms are free, which is a wonderful resource to help us get through this tough time. I think that this is a time where we have to really go inward and allow ourselves to explore the pain we're feeling and work towards coming to a more deep understanding of life itself. So I hope today our practice will feel really good. I think this can be a sort of painkiller yoga practice where we can, really feel the hurt and work through it and move through it to allow it to pass away. And so I hope this is a really feel-good experience for everybody today. Okay, so I'm going to relocate back to my mat. So give me just a quick moment. And so I would encourage you to start with a blanket to sit on. We're actually going to do a brief sitting practice today and then move our centering practice down onto our backs in a Shavasana position. But here for a moment, go ahead and set up your strong foundation in the body, taking the knees wide perhaps, aligning the feet with the center of the body in easy pose, always establishing good connection through the sitting bones to help you level the pelvis. And from there, rising up through the spine, reaching through the crown of the head, rolling the shoulders back and down. And today I'd actually like you to start our practice here with palms turned upward. This way of staying very open to not only our own emotional experience, but kind of feeling or receiving the energy of the world around us. Closing your eyes will help you go inward, but of course you're welcome to keep a soft gaze on the floor in front of you. The sound of our singing bowl is our cue to come to the first deep, intentional breath of our practice. Deep breath in, and a complete breath out. Breathing in from the nose to the belly. Feel the belly rise on inhale, and exhaling through the mouth to fully release the breath. And then just choosing to breathe only through the nose. Slowing the speed of the breath down and going inward to notice the mind, the body, and the emotional energy with you in this moment. From here, I'd like you to take one hand to the belly and one hand to the heart. And I'd like you to consider here this breathing practice called Tonglen. In Tonglen, we work to breathe into the heart center, truly feeling our own emotional pain or the suffering in the world, rather than closing our hearts or pulling away. We open and allow ourselves to be fully present with the difficulties in the world. As we breathe in this sense of suffering, shared experience of struggle and humanity, we breathe out, offering loving kindness. We breathe into the heart, allowing ourselves to feel fully. And we breathe out, softening and sending out deep compassion for all beings. Savoring a gentle smile to the face. Slowing the breath down. And finding that slight kumbhaka, holding the breath in at the top of inhale. And pausing with the breath out. Hesitating before the next breath comes in. Breathing in, aware of the feelings and humanity. Breathing out, softening, offering compassion. From here, holding awareness inward, I'd like you to transition onto your backs. So bringing the knees together, holding the eyes closed, very gently, slowly lowering yourself down all the way onto the back into a Shavasana position. Extending the legs, releasing arms to your sides, palms up. If you would enjoy to continue to hold hand to heart, hand to belly, feel free to do so. Feel this strong grounding connection with gravity holding you strongly to the mat, aware of all the touch points, aware of the whole body. As you breathe in, feel the belly rise. Breathing out, releasing deep tension. Pause and notice. Bring loving awareness to the grief in your heart. Being willing to investigate our pain allows our hearts to open with compassion. Invite the hurt to show itself, to be seen and felt fully, just as it is in this moment. There is no need to run away or close yourself off, nor must you drown in tears. Just be with it, fully aware of the sensations, the energy of the emotion, without judging it as good or bad. We must feel fully in order to heal fully. So allow yourself to feel, to grieve, to mourn with the shared pain of humanity. Explore the emotions with kind curiosity. Allow them to arise so that they can pass by. Grief is here. Love is here. This belongs. Breathing into the heart, softening with each breath out. From here, visualize your intention, how best to move forward. See your resilience as you move through this chapter, aware, able to feel fully as waves of emotion arise and pass away. Practicing deep compassion for yourself and for all beings. Compassion for humanity. And now from this Shavasana position, begin to bring the feet together, feet in line with the hips. Walk the shoulder blades in towards each other and turn your palms to face the mat. This flow is called Tadaka Mudra. These right-left poses thought to stimulate the brain and help come into a more balanced emotional state. On an inhale, flex the left foot, pressing through the heel, slightly lift the leg as you inhale, reach the right arm up and over, back of the hand touching the mat. And exhale, arm comes back down as the left foot slowly relaxes. Flex the right foot, inhale, left arm up and over, reaching, synchronizing breath with movement, and exhale, float the left arm down as the right leg relaxes. And now flex through both feet, inhale, both arms reach, stretch, pause with the breath in, and exhale, float the arms back down as the feet and legs relax. Inhale, step your feet in. And exhale, lift the knees up, feet off the mat. Inhale, begin to extend left foot to the sky as the right arm reaches up and over. Flex that left foot, press through the heel. And exhale, bend the knee as the arm returns. And inhale, press the right foot to the sky as the left arm reaches up and over. And exhale, bend the knee, bring the left arm down. And both legs, both arms, inhale, reach as the feet rise. Press through the heels. Pause here for a moment, point and flex the feet, perhaps rolling the ankles a couple times each way. Just releasing anything here to soften into this leg inversion. Inhale, press through the heels, and exhale, bend the knees, let the arms come all the way back to the mat. Deep breath in, and exhale, squeeze the knees into the chest, pressing the breath out completely. Next, inhale, set the feet down. Keep the heels very close to the back of the hips here for bridge pose. Palms to the mat, shoulder blades walking toward the midline. On an inhale, press through the feet as you begin to lift the hips off the mat, arms up and over, back of the hands to the mat. And exhale, slowly releasing back down, synchronizing the hands and tailbone touching at the same moment. Inhale, push through the feet, lift the hips high, squeeze the legs toward the midline, and exhale, float it back down, slowly releasing. And once more, inhale, push through the feet, reach those frontal hips up, and hold here. From here, sweep the arms down to come underneath the hips, interlocking the hands, walk the shoulders towards each other, really lifting the heart off the mat. And as you push through the feet, squeeze the knees together, press the pinkies of the hands into the mat as you reach the frontal hip bones and the heart up really strongly. Feel the energy lock into the throat, helping to stimulate the thyroid here, helping our body come into a hormonal balance. One of the ways that we leave these yoga practices feeling so much happier, so much more at peace. Continue to breathe, taking this moment for inversion, blood flow to the brain. Inhale and exhale, release the hands and very gently rolling back down. Releasing the shoulders, deep breath in, and exhale, lifting the knees, squeeze the breath out once more. Bring the hands to the back of your knees. Inhale, lift your feet up. To exhale, rock forward gently and slowly. Coming into bound angle, knees apart, feet together. From here, pushing the feet in energetically to access into those hip joints. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your chin, and exhale, chin to chest. Heavy here in the midline, stretching the back of the neck. And then inhale, lift the head. Begin to hinge forward from the top of the hip crease as you walk the hands out in front. Finding this stretch, find the edge, and then releasing here, softening, turning the palms to face upward, tucking the chin down, rounding the upper back to release all effort. So whenever we come into a resting forward bend, it's an opportunity to go inward, to practice a deep self-awareness, allowing everything to soften, feeling the breath, aware of any thoughts in the mind. And then from here, fingertips press down and inhale, roll yourself up. Knees will come together and extend the legs out in front of you. Taking a moment here just to press through the feet, lifting the heart. And then inhale, extend the right arm out, left hand behind the hips, and now begin to reach across to the left side. Bring the back of the left hand to the right hand to the outer left knee. Inhale, reach to the crown of the head, and exhale, begin to twist to the left. Push that hand into the knee, rotate from the belly, and then turn the head only gently, always being very safe with the neck. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, untwist, coming forward. And inhale, left arm extends, right hand behind the hips. And on exhale, rotate from the belly, bring the back of the left hand to the outer right knee. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, begin to twist from the belly, slowly rotating and turning the neck last. And then inhale, coming forward, lift your heart, and then begin to hinge from that hip crease, bringing the chest forward before releasing here. Again, palms turned up, chin tucked down, softening through the back of the shoulders. Let the shoulders hang heavily. Pausing here to go inward and notice the heart beating, the breath moving the body. Aware of any thoughts in the mind and inviting those thoughts to pass by. Training ourselves to stay aware, to be present with all that is. Fingertips come down, inhale, roll yourself back up. And then from here, cross your lower legs, coming onto hands and knees, feet together, knees apart, setting up for child's pose. Sit back onto the heels, and then begin to slide yourself out into child's pose, bringing either the forehead to the mat, or perhaps stacking the hands or fists to support the forehead. Really releasing here through the arms, letting everything settle, going inward with eyes closed. Really feeling the energy in the body, aware of any emotions present, any hurt that you're holding. Soften with each breath out. And then from here, turn palms to the mat. And now begin to lift your hips off the heels as your hands walk forward. Coming into puppy dog stretch or melted heart. So hips are somewhat over the knees. And then we begin to press the hips back, push the hands forward, and then melt the heart towards the mat. So we want to protect the shoulders here by having a little bit of an energetic lift into the armpit region, softening and releasing, perhaps bringing the forehead all the way onto the mat. Inhale, and here, bend your right elbow, creating a little pillow for the forehead. And as you rest the forehead onto the right arm, come onto those left fingertips and press those fingertips down and forward as you reach the left hip back strongly. Breathe into the left side body. And then on an inhale, extend the right arm, bend the left elbow, support the forehead, and then high on those right fingertips, press the fingertips down and forward as the hips reach back. Breathing here into that stretch into the right side ribs. And then on an inhale, release that left arm. Exhale, sit back onto the heels, back to child's pose. Pausing for a breath. And then bringing hands under your shoulders, inhale, press yourself up into Vajra Sana, our thunderbolt pose. So here we have feet together, knees together, and we're sitting back onto the heels. If this is ever uncomfortable for you, please feel free to sit on top of a blanket or a block. From here, roll the shoulders back, open through the heart, palms forward. Deep breath in, rise up, smile as you gather good energy. Exhale, turn the palms out as you internally rotate the arms, thumbs point down. Bring the arms to interlock at the low back. Roll your shoulders back, squeeze the blades together, and from here, begin to squeeze the shoulders and lift the hands away from the hips. Really reaching the heart forward, lifting the chin gently, allowing a deep squeeze into that neck and shoulder region as we stretch through the heart. Here, we're going to inhale, bring the head back up. We're going to bring the hands across to the outside of the right waist. Inhale, and exhale, chin to chest. Next, inhale, begin to roll the right ear towards the right shoulder, really stretching deeply into that left neck and shoulder region. So as you pull that left hand across, really release the left shoulder away from the ear, and then moving the head just a little bit forward and back, up and down. Just exploring any areas of tension into that left side of the neck. Allow that shoulder to fall strongly away from the ear. And then inhale, head comes up, hands back to our midpoint, stretch the heart. And then on exhale, we're going to bring the hands across to the left side of the waist. Inhale, exhale, chin to chest, and then begin to roll the left ear to the left shoulder. Drop that right shoulder down away from the ear. Feeling that deep stretch into the right side of the neck, and then moving the head a little bit. Turning the head up and down, front and back. Trying to feel any areas of tension that you can release. Soften the jaw here, relax all through the face. Breathing into that right neck and shoulder. And then inhale, bring the head back up. Release the hands to the midpoint, release the arms, palms turn up, and then inhale, rise up onto knees. Big sweeping breath, stretch up. Turn the palms out, and now we're coming into Camel Pose. So from here, we're going to bring the hands to the low back, fingertips pointing downward. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the blades together, squeeze the elbows back, and then begin to push the frontal hips forward, looking for a nice vertical line through the femur before we begin to lift and lengthen from pubic bone to collarbone, reaching the heart upward, tucking the chin down just a little bit to protect the back of the neck, but really press through the hips, lengthen all the way through the torso. Modified Camel Pose. And then inhale, gently rise up. Hands to prayer. Exhale, sitting back on the heels, folding from the hips, and then sliding yourself out into your child's pose. Letting everything go here, softening into our most restorative, self-soothing pose, child's. Aware of all the sensation in the body, aware of the breath. Slow the breath down. Find the pause between inhale and exhale. And then from here, begin to lift the head, turning the palms down onto the mat. Hands are shoulder width apart. Spread the fingers wide. Fingers are parallel, the middle fingers. And then inhale, rise to tabletop position. Adjust your legs so that the knees fall directly under the hips. Wrists are under the shoulders. From here, inhale, lift your tailbone, reach the heart forward. Exhale, drop the tailbone, pull the belly in, and now lift the knees off the mat, just an inch or two into our hovering cat. Our core engagement here, again, working to find some power in the body to counter the fear. Inhale, knees come down, lift the tailbone, reach the heart forward. And exhale, pull the belly in, release the crown of the head and lift the knees. Pause here with the breath out, remembering these slight breath holds, very beneficial to our immune system, to the health of our body. And inhale, knees come down, lift the tailbone, extending into cow. One more time, exhale to cat, strong core engagement, and lift the knees one more time, hovering, holding the breath out. And then inhale, release to table, exhale to child, keep the hands active for down dog. Inhale, rise up, curl the toes under, and exhale, lift the hips up and back. Starting here with bent knees, focusing on our long spine, really reaching the sitting bones up and back. So we press down and forward through the base of the pointer fingers. And then from here, beginning to pedal out the legs, really fluidly allowing the hips to sway a little side to side. Slowly working out the back of the calves and the Achilles and the hamstring. Just side to side, fluidly moving. Make sure the neck is relaxed, gazing toward the feet. And breathing as you move and loosen up the body. And then from here, bend your knees, re-lengthen those hips up and back, really press the belly towards the upper thighs. And then inhale, come onto tiptoes, and exhale, slowly allow the heels to descend. Coming all the way into your down dog position. Broaden through the upper arms, broaden the shoulders, gazing toward the toes, and following the breath. And inhale, look forward. Step one foot and then the other to the hands. Inhale, swing the spine out. And exhale, fold in Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Take the feet a little bit wide here and allow yourself to sway just side to side, fluidly releasing the back, gentle bend in the knees. You might enjoy holding onto the elbows to do this, to get a little more traction to the spine, a little bit more of a release to the low back. And then coming to stillness, releasing the arms. With our feet a little wider than hips width, turn the toes out. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, begin to drop the hips down into your yoga squat. Elbows come to the inner knees, hands in prayer. Squeeze the pelvic floor in and up, and then squeeze energetically between the knees and the elbows to access deep into the hip joints. Soften the jaw, gentle smile. Breathing into the hip joints, we imagine the inhale creating space and the exhale releasing tension. Hold and breathe. And from here, inhale and exhale, hands come to the mat. Begin to lift the hips up and turn the toes forward. Heel toe the feet in to fall under the hips. Releasing the arms, letting go of all effort here for a moment. And now we're going to rise with strength. So with the feet under the hips, arms are straight down but energized. Begin to bend the knees and drop the tailbone down. On an inhale, begin to press through the feet and rise up. Come all the way onto tiptoes, visual point of focus. Big stretch here in Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, prayer hands together, heels come down, lowering prayer hands slowly all the way to the heart. Pausing here to notice, releasing arms, palms forward. Using Tadasana as a pose to bring full body awareness. Sensing the feet grounding down, the crown of the head reaching up, the shoulders softening, the heart open to receive, to feel all that is present in the moment. Noticing that sensation as we've transitioned here. So in yoga, we use physical postures and breathing techniques to create sensation, helping us to practice awareness. Pausing to notice. Okay, we're going to move into active flow, but first we'll do an energizing breathing technique. This is called Wings of Crane, and it's not just an expansion and contraction breath, but it's also a visual practice of really receiving this beautiful energy. So what we do is the outer wrists actually lead the way. We inhale, rise up, and really open the heart and lift the tailbone. And we exhale, crunch forward. We cross the arms, opposite hand across to the knee. And then the next breath comes in, and then we switch which hand is on top. So when we do these right, left, cross body practices, there's a thought that this is beneficial to depressed moods and to kind of help stimulate and integrate all the different regions of the brain. Okay, so we're going to do a few rounds of Wings of Crane. So set your feet just a few inches between the big toes, aligned with the hip bones. Roll the shoulders back, heart is open. Smile through this practice with a sense of drawing in good energy and releasing anything that's not serving you well. allowing ourselves to feel and release some of the emotional tension. From here, inhale, rise, back of the wrists reach as you stretch the heart, shoulders down the back, and exhale, pull the belly in, crossing hands to opposite knee. Notice which arm is on top. And inhale, big breath, smile, and exhale, crunch the belly in, drop the tailbone, opposite hand crosses. Inhale, rise and breathe, stretch the heart, and exhale, release. And inhale one more time, big breath, and exhale, cross. From here, inhale, big, beautiful breath. Turn the palms out. Begin to float the hands down, step the feet a little bit wider. Interlock hands at the low back. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the blades together, and then with an inhale, lift the heart and begin to hinge from the top of the hip crease, perhaps bending the knees here to support the low back before releasing all the way into our standing forward bend. Begin to lift the hands off the hips, press the knuckles up to the sky, squeeze the shoulders together, and completely let go through the neck. Breathing here in this inversion. And inhale, come up part way just to release the hands. Bring hands to the mat. Bring the heels in, toes in, Uttanasana. And then from here, inhale, look forward, float your right leg up high behind you. And as you bend the left knee, step the right foot back. We're setting up for warrior one. So from here, drop the right heel in and spin the toes out. Visual point of focus as you feel balanced, begin to rise up to standing. So here in warrior one, we square the hips, trying to pull the left hip back, press that right frontal hip forward. We anchor the pose, you're pressing through the back right heel, reaching up through the hamstring. We want our lunge to take us to where the knee falls directly over the ankle. Straighten that left knee, hands in prayer, visual focus. Inhale as thumbs come to the heart, open through the elbows, really reach back through the elbows and the pinkies, shoulders down the back, lunge, and exhale, straighten the knee, hands to the forehead. Inhale, lunge, and open through the heart, reach through the elbows, and exhale, straighten the leg, thumbs to the forehead. Inhale, lunge, and open the heart. Shoulders down the back, smile to the face. And exhale, straighten the knee, hands to the heart. Open yourself up to the right, setting up for warrior warrior two. So step that right foot back a little bit to align the feet. We're gonna lunge here a little more deeply. Check that knee falls right above the ankle. And extend the arms out as you gaze over those left fingertips. From here, turn the left palm up and turn the right palm the opposite way, thumb pointing down. Inhale, and then exhale, begin to dive that right hand across the back waist, hooking those right fingertips to the top of that left hip crease. Straighten the knee. Inhale, lunge, reach and gather into peaceful warrior. Exhale, straighten the knee, bring the arm down. Inhale, lunge, reach, extend the heart, gaze to the sky. Exhale, release. And inhale, lunge, reaching up and over, breathe into the left side ribs. And exhale, release. From here, inhale, both arms out. And exhale, begin to reach to your left for Konasana. So shifting our hips to the right, trying to hinge from that left hip crease, not nice and long through the left side ribs. Reaching out, finding our edge before releasing the left hand below the knee. And then the right arm coming all the way up above us into Konasana. Triangle pose. Gazing up at the sky or perhaps straight forward. Press that left frontal hip bone, that left sitting bone forward as you reach up through the inner thigh. Breathing here, holding our awareness. Inhale and exhale, bring the right ear straight over the ear, Length through that right side body. Exhale, turn toward the mat. Pivot on the back toes as you bring the hands down in high lunge. Inhale and exhale, step that left foot back to meet the right into plank pose. Plank pose is always optional. We're only going to hold briefly today as we're practicing a lot of self-compassion and gentleness here in our practice. Inhale and exhale, knees come down. Just lower yourself very gently to the mat. From here, walk those frontal hips back. Feet can come a little bit wide as we press through the pinky toe side of our feet. Hands in front of you, aligning the shoulder with the elbow and the wrist. Fingers are pointing straight forward. Inhale, energetically tug the hands in towards you to help you lift, lengthening from pubic bone to collarbone, lifting the heart and the chin into Sphinx pose, pressing through the feet. From here, inhale, and we're going to turn the left palm up. Weave, you can lift that right elbow a little bit to weave the left arm underneath the right, coming onto the back edge of that left hand, and now dropping the left shoulder to the mat. So we're not trying to twist here. We want to try to keep the shoulders as square as possible. You can keep the right hand where it is or reach the right arm out forward and then try to drop that right shoulder down, perhaps bringing the forehead down to the mat. So we're accessing a deep stretch here into the left shoulder and also all the way through the back body here to the spine, to the base of the neck. Breathe into that sensation. And then inhale, bring the right hand in, press yourself up and bring that left hand back, coming back to our Sphinx position. Inhale, turn the right palm up, and then weave that arm underneath the left, bringing the right shoulder to the mat. You can leave the left hand here or reach it forward on the fingertips, trying to drop that left shoulder down and really feeling this deep stretch into the right shoulder all the way through the back body. Releasing all the tension stored into the shoulders, into the neck. And on an inhale, bring the left hand in, press yourself up, coming back to Sphinx pose. Press through the little toes of the feet. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, drop the chin and come all the way down, hands to your thighs, setting up for Locust Pose. So here we're going to roll the shoulders back away from the ears, squeeze the blades together as we lift the pinkies, and then on an inhale, lift the heart and lift the legs, energize, reaching out through the big toe ball mounds, reaching through the crown of the head, holding engagement for a moment. Inhale, lift, and exhale, bringing it down, turning your head to face the right, onto the left cheek. If you'd prefer in crocodile pose here, you can stack your hands to support the head. Otherwise, letting go completely, feeling strong connection through the whole body. The heart beating, the lungs breathing, very aware of energy flowing through you. Inhale, head to the center, hands under your shoulders. Next breath in, push to table. Slowly and gently reaching the hips back and then sliding yourself out into child's pose, letting go here of all effort. Releasing, softening. Feeling the heart and the breath begin to slow. The reality is you will grieve forever. You will not get over the loss of a loved one. You will learn to live with it. You will heal, and you will rebuild yourself around the loss you have suffered. You will be whole again, but you will never be the same, nor should you want to. Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Aware of any thoughts in the mind. aware of all the sensations in the body. From here, beginning to reach hands forward actively, palms to the mat. Inhale, rise at the table, curl toes under. Exhale, lift to down dog. Coming into our full position here with knees straight, heels descending, gazing toward the toes, neck is relaxed, broadening through the shoulders. And then from here, inhale, float the right leg up high behind you. And exhale, begin to come forward. Our knee comes to the chest, shoulders over the wrists, and stepping the right foot down. We're setting up for warrior one, second side. So drop the left heel in, toes out. Visual focus for balance as you begin to rise up. Checking your lunge distance to make sure that right knee will fall directly over the ankle as we lunge. Squaring the hips, pull the right hip back. Roll the shoulders back, lifting through the heart. Hands to prayer. Visual focus. Inhale, thumbs to the forehead as you begin to open and lunge. Elbows back, pinkies back, smile to the face. And exhale, straighten the knee, thumbs to the forehead. Inhale, open through the heart, smile to the sun. And exhale, straighten the knee. One more time, lunge. Inhale, open the heart. And exhale, coming back, prayer hands to the heart. From here, turning to that left side. So again, align the feet here for warrior two. Gaze over that right shoulder as you lunge for the right knee. Extend the arms, gaze over the right fingertips. Turn the right palm up, turn the left thumb down. Weave that left hand behind the back of the waist to that right hip crease. And then lunge and inhale, rising into peaceful warrior. Exhale, straighten the knee. And inhale, lunge, reach and gather. Breathe into the right side body. And exhale, release. One more time, inhale, lift, gaze to the sky. And exhale, release. From here, extend the arms out, shift your hips to the left, begin to reach to the right. Really feel this strong hinge from that right hip crease before bringing the right hand below the knee and the left arm extends above. Really work to reach that right sitting bone forward and lift through the right inner thigh. Finding your triangle pose here, holding awareness. Inhale and exhale, reach the arm over the ear, lengthen through the side body, and then begin to rotate, pivoting on those back left toes. Bring both hands to the mat in high lunge. Inhale and exhale, step the right foot back into plank pose. Optional, feel free here to take a rest or just be in tabletop. Otherwise, challenging ourselves to engage the core. Allow some power in the body. Mind steady, breath is steady. Balancing our effort here with self-compassion, coming out at any time. Reach through those inner thighs, press the heart away. Inhale and exhale, knees come down with ease, releasing ourselves to the mat. And then from here, once more, walk those frontal hips back. Feet are a little bit wide, pressing through those pinky toes of the feet. We can bring hands forward, tuck elbows in, back to Sphinx. If you'd like to go a little bit bigger here, I'll offer seal pose, in which we extend the hands a little bit farther in front, straighten the arms and lift those elbows off the mat. Pressing through the feet, lifting the heart. And then from here, bringing this right arm, palm turned up, weave it under the left arm, coming back to our shoulder opener, extending those left fingertips forward. Working to bring the forehead to the mat, dropping that left shoulder down, and really going deep into the right shoulder region. Holding and breathing, allowing any deep layers of tension to ease out of the body. Accessing the back of the heart center, the thoracic region of the back body. And from here, bring the left hand in, press yourself up, release the right arm, coming back to seal or Sphinx, your choice. And then left palm up, weave the left arm under the right, back of the hand to the mat, lowering yourself down onto that left shoulder, and then reaching those right fingertips forward, turning yourself to release the forehead to the mat, and try to energetically lower that right shoulder down as well, going deeply into that left shoulder region. Breathe into the sensation, soften the jaw, relax the face. Holding here to allow tension to ease from the body. And on an inhale, begin to come up. Bring that right hand in. Press yourself back up. Allow the left hand to come back to our starting position and seal. Inhale and exhale, lowering down, tuck the chin, bring the feet into each other and bring the hands to the sides of the thighs, or roll the shoulders back, interlock the hands at the low back, roll the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then on an inhale, lift through the big toes and reach those hands off the hips, straightening the elbows, really reach the fingertips towards your feet, shoulder blades sliding down the back. Really open through the heart, little smile to the face, feeling some of that energy as the body works hard here. And inhale, lift, exhale, release, chin comes down, hands under the shoulders to support the forehead, or hands to your side, head turns to the left here, back to crocodile, resting onto the right cheek. Feeling strong connection through the body, grounding down energetically to the earth. Very aware here of the heart beating, the lungs breathing. Pausing to notice all the sensation in the body. And then inhale, turn the head to center. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Next, inhale, press to table. And gently and easily releasing yourself back to child's pose, hips to the heels, and releasing yourself forward. Using child's pose as a pose for self-care, of self-awareness. In our most painful moments of grief, coming into this posture of soothing, allowing ourselves to truly feel our feelings with kind curiosity. We run from grief because loss scares us, yet our hearts reach toward grief because the broken parts want to mend. Brené Brown. And from here, begin to rise up with arms extended forward. Next, inhale, rise to table, curl your toes under and lift up and back to downward facing dog. Pressing again through the base of those pointer fingers, broaden through the shoulders, release the neck, and then allowing the heels to descend as the hips reach up high behind you. Pausing for a breath. So all of these inversions we do in yoga, bringing blood flow to the brain, very beneficial to our mental health, to our stress management, to increasing our sense of alertness and mental focus. Oxygen to the brain. From here, inhale, float the left leg up high behind you, reaching into three-leg dog, big stretch. And exhale, coming forward, shoulders over the wrists, knee to the chest. Stepping the left foot down, we're just transitioning to standing here. Inhale, rock your weight back. To exhale, step that right foot to the left. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold, releasing here in Uttanasana. And again, you might like to sway in this pose and just allow the body to feel fluid as you release any held tension. And then from here, pressing energetically through the feet, bend the knees, drop the tailbone down, energy into the arms, begin to look forward, push through the feet as you inhale and rise all the way up to Urdhva Hastasana. Come on, tiptoes, visual focus, prayer hands together, and exhale, hands come down to the heart, heels to the mat. Pausing here, fully aware of all the sensation flowing through the body. Releasing the hands, open through the heart, palms forward. Pausing to bring total awareness. Feeling the effort of the heart working, the energy of the lungs breathing, life force coming in with each inhale. Smile to the face as you savor the aliveness of the body, the blessing of consciousness. And then coming out. All right. Last week, as we talked about death and existential fear, we talked about this tree of life, this infinite fractal of continued life emerging. And so we're going to do Vrikshasana here today. Tree pose is a balancing pose. And so all the balancing work that we do in yoga is very beneficial to helping us condition the mind to be able to pay attention, to be aware. And if we can do that here on the mat during these easy moments in yoga, we're going to be way more strong being able to bring awareness during those tough moments in which emotion gets really hard to handle. So checking your feet here, always starting with strong foundation through the feet, spreading out the toes nice and wide, drawing the heels away from the toes. Begin to weigh into your left leg, come on the right toes. Keeping your shoulders and hips square, turn that right knee out. Now you're very welcome to just rest the heel onto the ankle. Otherwise, with visual point of focus, you bring the foot to the inner calf. Or perhaps reach down for that right foot and bring it to the inner thigh. Now, if balance work feels a little uncomfortable, have a wall near back behind you. Visual focus, inhale, hands to the heart. Stay right here, or else inhale and grow this tree of life, reaching upward, opening to receive the sunlight, and possibly here dropping the arms into cactus arms. You may want to press the thumb into the fingernail of that pointer finger, little strong energy lock as you reach the elbows and pinkies back. Reach the heart forward. Mental focus as you hold full awareness. Press your standing leg into that right foot. Engage the pelvic floor. Your tree might sway in the breeze, and that's perfectly fine. And then inhale, reach it up. Woo! And prayer hands are going to float down to the heart. Turn your knee in, step that right foot down. I have to practice here on carpet, and having a squishy floor makes balance much more difficult. So if you happen to have a hard surface around you, balance would be easier. All right, set those feet again, nice and broad through the toes. Way into the right leg, come on the left toes, and again, without twisting, turn the left knee out. You can brace that heel above the right ankle, or else bring the foot to the lower calf, or then reach for the foot and place it to the inner thigh. Visual focus as you bring prayer hands to the heart. Option to stay right here. Otherwise, inhale, rise to the sunlight, opening to receive beautiful energy, perhaps dropping the elbows down here back into that cactus pose, really stretching the heart center, squeeze the shoulders toward each other. Visual focus. The mind completely aware of just this. Press that right leg into the left foot. Engage the pelvic floor. Lovely. And inhale, rise up, hands touch. Turn the knee forward and exhale, float it all the way down, releasing back to mountain pose. Okay, we're going to set up for our Shavasana relaxation practice. I would like you to have for sure at least a pillow to go under your head. But if you'd like to do this restorative bound angle pose, make sure to have 2 pillows or folded blankets to go under each knee, and possibly a third blanket or towel to go along the length of the spine. So just getting your props ready. Of course, an eye pillow is always a way to get a little bit more out of your deep relaxation. Okay, but from here, we're going to take our feet a little bit wide, turn the toes out. Inhale, rise up, big sun breath, big stretch as you smile, and exhale, turn the palms out, internally rotate the arms, thumbs point down, come to interlock at the low back. Perhaps switch your interlock one and put the thumb on top that feels strange to you. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, and exhale, begin to fold forward once more, perhaps bending the knees if that protects your back a little bit better. And releasing here into a wide stance, Uttanasana. Begin to straighten the elbows and lift the hands up off the hips. Really press the knuckles to the sky. Squeeze the shoulders together as you release the neck completely. Heart opener, Uttanasana. And then from here, inhale halfway up, release the hands, and then coming all the way down, turn the toes out, inhale, and on exhale, begin to drop those hips back into our yoga squat. Squeezing the knees and elbows together, hands in prayer, pelvic floor in and up. Pausing here for a moment to access deep into those hip joints. Creating space on inhale, releasing layers of deep tension on each exhale, softening the jaw, gentle smile to the face to help the body feel safe here in this stretch. And then from here, bringing hands down, just very gently sit back. Here with our feet a little bit wide, we'll just lean back onto the hands and just rock your knees side to side. So a little stretch to the outer plane of the hips as we drop our knees to the right, feeling a stretch through the left hip. And just rolling side to side, a little release to the low back. And then bringing knees back to the center. Very easy today, extend the arms and just lower down. Nice and easy. For a moment here, come all the way onto the back and extend the legs into Shavasana position. Take a moment here for full body awareness. And deep breath in. Bend the knees, step the feet to the mat. We're going to do one last core engagement here because, again, the counter to fear or grief in the body is trying to find some sense of power and strength. So from here, inhale and exhale, lift the knees up, feet off the floor. Inhale, we're going to extend our feet all the way up to the sky. Access energy reaching through the big toe ball mounds, palms to the mat. And exhale, begin to lower the legs, coming down no more than about a third of the way. Inhale, hold the legs, squeeze the energy of the legs together. And exhale, lift the legs up. Inhale, lower the knees down. And exhale, step the feet back to the mat, palms to the mat. Inhale, and exhale, lift the knees. Next breath in, rise up through the legs, reach for the big toe ball mounds, and exhale, begin to lower the legs. Core is strongly engaged, squeeze the legs together. Deep breath in as we hold. And exhale, lift the legs back up. Deep breath in, release the knees, and exhale, hug the knees into the chest, squeeze the breath out. Inhale, bring the knees away, and exhale one more time, squeeze the breath out. And then inhale, step the feet down. Take the feet wide to the edges of your mat. Inhale with the knees in the center, and then exhale, knees all the way to the right. Press through your left foot to lift that left frontal hip up, feeling some stretch through that left quad, accessing more of the low back. Inhale, center, knees drop to the left. Press through that right foot, lift that right hip up. And at your own pace, inhaling to the center, windshield wiper twist to the right. Inhale, center. Windshield wiper to the left. And just once more each side, very fluidly, just trying to release the low back, release the hips. And as you come back to center, squaring the hips and shoulders, you can either slide yourself right out into Shavasana here, or I'll show you how to prop up here for the bound angle pose. So you may want to take here a blanket or a narrow pillow along the length of the spine, and not too tall, maybe just about a 2-inch fold on your spinal support. I would like you to have a pillow or a folded blanket to support each knee. You'll bring your spinal support right to the tailbone, feet together, knees wide, propping up the outer knees because we don't want any strain or pull to that inner groin, so we can really let go of effort here. As you feel ready, you'll extend yourself down onto your back. This spinal support allows us to have a more deep heart-opening posture, and you'll want to make sure you have a little bit of support under the head and neck, so possibly another pillow to support the head. So this restorative bound angle pose is very therapeutic. It's a pose in which we let down that self-protective wall through the body, all of that suffering that has led to constriction through our heart center. And so find a pose that feels really lovely to you. And of course, you're not stuck with any of this. And if you're in butterfly legs and that gets to be a little much, go ahead and come back up, take the feet wide and just drop the knees to lean into each other. Or just extend yourself back to that Shavasana position. So even though I'm offering these props to do a more strategic pose, please make sure it feels really lovely to you, very comfortable throughout the whole practice. And when you've had enough, by all means, make that self-compassion choice to just come into Shavasana. Okay, so wherever you find yourself in this relaxation pose, really roll the shoulders back and down, walk those blades in towards each other, and turn the palms up. The other option here is to bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, just to help you anchor more awareness to the breath. And as you come into this Shavasana practice, I would encourage you to take a deep breath in, feel the belly expand, and a complete breath out, deeply relaxing, allowing the eyes to fall back heavily, soften the jaw completely, let the tongue be at ease. Feel gravity holding you securely. Aware of the body in strong connection with the support beneath you. Feeling air and clothing to the skin. Feeling the breath flow. Air touching the upper lip and nostrils. Belly rising and falling. Relax and allow feelings to flow through you, letting go of resistance. Allow those self-protective walls to dissolve. Become fully aware, feeling completely, deeply. Breathe into grief, into the collective grief of humanity. Opening our hearts opens us to the essential truths of life. It allows us to feel our deep connection and dissolve the illusion of separateness. Breathe into the grief. Be with it. Feel it fully. Breathe out loving kindness. deep compassion for the whole world. We must allow ourselves to feel fully in order to heal fully. So allow yourself to feel, to grieve, to mourn with all of humanity. Allow emotions to arise so that they can pass by. Grief is here. Love is here. This belongs. Allowing a moment for Tonglen breathing, truly feeling suffering of the world into the heart with each breath in, and sending out loving kindness, deep compassion with each exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. Just this. Breathing into the heart. Breathing out loving kindness. Aware of the body. Aware of the breath. Begin to deepen the breath. Visualize each inhale bringing with it a beautiful healing light. This energy coming directly into the heart and flowing out to touch every cell of the body, soothing your pain. And now, very patiently, slowly, begin to come back to the body, wiggling fingers and toes, squeezing and opening the hands and the feet, rolling the wrists and the ankles, savoring the sensation of movement coming back to the body. Smile to the face as you inhale and reach the arms up high, pointing the toes low. Big full body stretch. And maybe grabbing each wrist for a little side to side flexion. We're interlocking the hands and flipping the palms away from the crown of the head. Nice big stretch. Please move freely as you come back to the body, but you might enjoy here on exhale to hug the knees into the chest. Maybe rolling a little bit side to side to massage the back body. You might like to do another twist here, or perhaps even coming into that happy baby pose, accessing into that hip joint region one more time. Allowing yourself to just enjoy the sensation of coming back to movement. And then as you're ready, roll to your right side and pause here in this side lying position. Allowing ourselves to relax into this fetal, comforting posture. Feeling healing energy flowing in through the left nostril and out through the right with each breath. Calming circular breathing. And as you feel ready, press your left hand down into the mat to help roll the torso up, head coming up very last. And holding inner awareness, taking a moment to find a seating posture. You might like to find a blanket to sit on. And find this strong foundation through the legs. A nice level pelvis. Lengthening up through the crown of the head. And then hands to the legs, palms turned up. A way to symbolize receiving the benefits of our practice together, really soaking in this good medicine, and also sending out a wish for wellness to the world, sharing this good energy with all other beings. Come back to awareness. Noticing all the sensations in the body, the breath flowing with ease. Soften through the face. Allow the shoulders to fall away. We will not just move on from this, but we will move forward with the knowing of this loss inside us, forever changed by having gone through this collective grief, this shared experience of humanity, perhaps bringing us to a deeper understanding of life itself. Breathe into the grief. Be with it. Feel it fully, deeply. And breathe out loving kindness, deep compassion for the whole world. Grief is inevitable. Love is inevitable. This belongs. Releasing hands to your sides. Inhale, rise, gather, smile as you gaze toward the sun, fingertips touch. And exhale, draw your prayer hands down the midline to the heart. Pausing here in Untitled Mudra, coming back to our intention. I'd like to close our class with a little writing from Crystal Blanton. There is no right or wrong way to experience grief. As we are acclimating to loss, our physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual bodies have to go through their own process in order to heal. We cannot convince ourselves to just move on, and we are not really in control of the way that we grieve, but we will, with loving awareness, move forward. Breathe in this knowing that while this moment in history is a painful moment, we will move forward, perhaps opening to a deeper understanding of life itself, balancing our grief with all the love in the world, learning to be so grateful for all the love we receive, and even more grateful for all the love that we can give. Taking a deep breath in, smile, and exhale, release. Totally letting go. Inhale, smile, draw in life force. And exhale, let go of any tension. And one more time, big loving breath. And exhale, releasing. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I am so grateful for technology that I can still teach and still be with my yoga community. So thank you. Namaste. Give me just a moment. I'd love to approach the camera and just sign off with everybody. Thank you for joining me in this practice today. I hope your heart feels very open. I hope you feel a little bit of this yoga buzz, this little bit of this high, this good energy, this biochemical shift that we are able to create when we practice in this way. And so I hope you'll be here next week as we dive into meaning, talking about the sixth and ultimate intention or phase of grief that we hope to come to. So we'll explore deep meaning and deep healing. And while this week was all about heart opening, next week's going to be all about hip opening. So I really hope to see you there. Thank you again for practicing with me today. Namaste.